Once again, we are with film reviewer, musician, and festival organizer extraordinaire Paul Blom uh, of Terminatrix. How are you? How's it going? How are you doing?
Amongst other things. No, cool, man. Yourself.
Just busy. I saw you had a gig recently at the. Was it the? I think
Armchair theatre.
the Armchair Theatre. There we go.
Yeah.
That was, I think,
Yeah,
because
no,
last time we chatted, you said you were hoping to do more things with Terminatrix this year.
no, but yeah, man, to squeeze everything in, that's always the magic wand that you need is to get time to do all this stuff. But yeah, we've got a couple that we never played the Armchair Theatre before, so we gave it a go and it was fun, but we came out the other side with some kind of a cold flu Rona thing that who knows what it is, but it's been dragging on.
Oof.
So quite fatigued and bleh. But I guess it has to happen. It was sort of just when autumn started crossing over, so that's usually often the time that you can get this. But we've got another two shows coming up. The first one actually hasn't even been. Tomorrow we're going to have a discussion on it, but it's on the 27th. Is that a Saturday? At Evil, doing a show with Grimehouse and some other DJs and stuff. So it's going to be kind of a hard, hectic, kind of a hardcore sort of electronic type DJ show, but then with us as a band playing as well. So we'll probably mainly be doing our kind of remix songs or the more kind of electronic flavored songs. And then a month later, which we also haven't really announced, is we'll be playing the World Goth Day show.
Oh, nice!
It's at the Warehouse Goth Party. It's I think it's the 25th of May, because I think World Goth Day is the 22nd of May, so it'll just be a couple of days after, because it falls in the middle of the week. So this will be on a Saturday.
Okay, so
there's only two shows we have lined up for now.
Okay.
But now another thing, actually the Comic Con guys contacted me to see what kind of horror fest incorporation we can do for Comic Con Cape Town, which will be that weekend of the 27th that we're playing. But I think that the horror days is like Monday the 29th.
Okay.
So there'll be like guys like Ryan Kruger will be there talking about his new movie Street Trash, and I think they might be screening. People haven't seen Fried Barry yet. Right. And we're still trying to working on some stuff to see how we can work in some more horror stuff. So that will hopefully happen before. Yeah, it has to happen before then, because the 29th of April is it's going to be here before you know it. So.
Yeah.
And before then, we need to get the sound on screen going, which is on Friday the 29th.
Yeah. So I was when you said
7th of April.
When you said you were feeling fatigued after your gig, I was gonna say, there's no rest for the wicked, because you've already got a festival going. I mean, this is at the end of last year you had 3 or 4 festivals. I think it was 3.
So we've kind of, we didn't eliminate the X Fest. We've kind of the Horror Fest has kind of absorbed the X Fest. So every time the Horror Fest is on, we've got like a little X Fest section for the stuff that's a bit more weird, more weird and more bizarre. We'll just make a little special X Fest pocket for it.
Yeah.
And then obviously sound on screen, and then Celluloid, the sci-fi, fantasy, and animation stuff.
Cool, but in the meantime, we've got the Sound on Screen Festival. So what have you got lined up for this one?
Man, we always have so many cool movies, and so many cool movies that we have to leave out because we cannot fit everything in. Always the case. Yeah. So we try to get a kind of a nice spread of different genres, different styles, different type of movies. So we've got like a proper musical movie, like a musical. We've got documentaries. We've got movies that look at specific instruments, and then of course just kind of a mixture of all kinds of music-related shorts, from little narrative bits to kind of these dance, very very cool for people who are into dance and body motion stuff. Some it's a nice cool mix of stuff. Some music videos. stuff that people haven't. Well, most of it no one's ever seen before, because most of these, like always, is still doing like the festival circuit. It's stuff that you won't be able to see, especially not here. And it's not going to hit the cinema ever. And I don't know if it'll reach any kind of streaming platform at some stage. So this is a very rare chance for people in South Africa to see this. Now, but the handy thing is we don't have any cinema screenings. We couldn't get any slots at the Labia Theatre. It's very difficult to do that. Specific was it's very, they have to kind of weigh, is this the kind of thing that will draw people to their cinema? And it's one show at one time for a specific movie that is kind of niche. So it's very difficult picking which ones you would do. So it was just a case of it just didn't work out, unfortunately. But the handy thing is the streaming. Everyone in South Africa can access all of the movies. Across the 10-day period. So, and if you get obviously it's only $30 per movie, but if you get the full festival pass for like $175, which is ridiculous, you can watch all the movies across that period whenever you get your time and slot it in with your schedule. So that's the advantage for the viewer like that.
So just before we get too far into the actual film, so just in terms of how you've spread the films out over the festival, can you watch any of the films at any time, or is there?
At any time. No, it's not specific time slots. That is just as difficult, especially in South Africa, to get people to commit to a specific time. I mean, it's been 20 years of the Horror Fest, and people still arrive like after the opening credits. Or they go, "Oh, was it yesterday? Or last week? Or when was the Horror Fest?" No, it was the previous month when it was Halloween. But don't get me started on that. So basically, it cannot be more convenient for people just to from the 29th of March till the 7th of April, they can watch it any time of day, any day of that 10-day period. So, it's very handy.
So take us through the movies that you've got lined up.
Right. We've got, for people who like slow metal, sludge metal, doom metal, drone metal, this kind of dark, slow stuff. The movie Even Hell Has Its Heroes. It's a documentary on the band Earth and the main guy. Sorry, oops, just want to grab a little dog there before she causes crap. Okay, no, she's all right. And it's the band called Earth, and it was Kurt Cobain's housemate and his best friend, Dylan Carlson, and they lived together, and they all went through all their issues and the drug problems and shit together. So it's a very interesting documentary. I mean, this guy, he survived all of that stuff, and the band is still going. And it's it's a very interesting. It's like a Super 8 film shot, grainy quality. So it really adds to the atmosphere of the music. And it's interviews with people who are in the band, Dylan, and sound engineers, and just people from other bands and people who know them, and the whole Seattle scene, which is obviously when the whole grunge thing exploded, that was the only focus there. But there were lots of other types of bands like Earth, and it's a fascinating. I mean, I always heard about it, but I've never actually heard them until this documentary got sent to us. And it's very, very cool stuff. A very cool documentary, and I love documentaries and we love music, so it works perfectly. And then we also, which is quite a rare thing, is to get an Afrikaans movie. So we got Old Righteous Blues. It's a drama, a movie, a narrative movie. So it's not a documentary. About a kerskoor in Robertson.
Like a Christmas choir.
Family drama. Yeah. And it's just very cool to have something like that in between there, instead of a music instrument documentary or a band profile, or like a kind of a concert film or a musical. So it's like just a proper movie for people to watch and enjoy. Especially it's a very Cape Town story. So it'll be cool for
Yeah.
Cape Townians and for people outside of Cape Town to check that out and check out the communities and stuff. So it's I'm glad that we managed to get that, because that also hasn't been. I think it screened at the Silver Scatum Feast last year.
Okay.
It had its premiere, but it hasn't been released yet. So it's people can get the chance to actually check it out.
Okay.
And then Bronx Banda. It's a guy called Arturo O'Farrell. Just wanted to make sure that I get his name right. Yeah, he's a Grammy Award-winning jazz pianist. It's a very interesting documentary about him. He put this kind of he's a pianist, and he put this kind of band together with kind of rappers blending hip hop and jazz in the Bronx area. So it's a very how can I put it? Not territorial, but it's very it's very set. It's a very Bronx vibe to it. So it's interviews with the people in the neighborhood. So it's like a very specific community, and just the whole vibe and the music and the sound and how they put this together and do this performance. So that's a very cool one as well. And then The Hidden Sound of Tango. It's an Argentinian movie. This is also now, again, like I said, it's sometimes we get we always have some kind of instrument related documentary. And this specific one is about, it's this guy, he found this old guitar, the same guitar that this very famous tango guitar player used, and he restores this guitar. So the documents, whole thing, how he restores this guitar, because they've got old records to hear what this thing sounded like, but no one's really heard that sound for real. So he restores this guitar to try and get this sound, this real sound of this guitar, and then play that type of music that was so popular back then. So it's very cool. I know you got these. Sonia likes to watch these YouTube clips, these restoration stuff. When they find all rusty things and they clean it and fix it up. So people like that kind of thing will really love this, because it's this guitar is pretty much falling apart, and this guy restores this thing back to a proper instrument again. That's a very cool in that, as for that type of documentary. And then Leilani's Fortune. That's like an artist specific documentary.
Okay.
It's a Ethiopian singer, called herself Witch Prophet, moved to Canada, and how she came up from just an unknown musician, slowly kind of becoming more famous, and a LGBTQ linked movie for people who'd be interested in checking that out. And then Texas Music Revolution. It features Kiefer Sutherland. He's actually got a country band as well.
Okay.
And it's a radio station in Texas that every year they put this country festival together. But it's like this kind of classic country, not these cheesy pop stuff that littering the place. So it's like a classic country and sort of country rock. So it's kind of more serious. And so they've been putting this radio station's been putting this festival together for 25 years. And it's sort of out of the pandemic and all the struggles, they have to put this thing together, and weather and stuff that doesn't play along. And they try to get some classic guys who no one's heard of in 20 years to try and get them to perform at the festival. So there's some very, very interesting stuff there. But then, you don't have to be interested in country music, because the documentary, I love documentaries on I like all kinds of music, but any documentary on any interesting subject, I love watching that. So, for instance, Balkan Cisco, people who like Balkan music. It's a documentary about this kind of Balkan scene in San Francisco, and how it's grown and just turned into this kind of cultural thing. People mixing stuff up with it, and they've got these regular shows that they put on, and just artists from all over just getting into it. It's a very interesting thing because we've like I said, we've covered so many genres in this thing, from rock, metal, punk, hip hop, jazz,
tango,
to classic to tango, classic Chinese music, electronic stuff. Like for instance, electronic, the bytes dreams are made of. This is just one long electronic piece of music with like graphics telling this computer story about computers and stuff. So it's kind of just like an audio visual trip. No, not a very, very specific story attached to it. So it's not it's not a documentary. It's not a it's just it's like this audio visual trip. It's about the best way I can say it. It's the bytes dreams are made of. It's an Italian movie. Yeah, Italian. And the previous one, that was Balkan Cisco. It's a Turkish American production.
Okay.
And then I mentioned there's actually a musical, Mother of All Shows. It's a Canadian movie.
Okay.
And it stars Wendy Malick, who remember the sitcom Just Shoot Me. And she does a voice in BoJack Horseman, that kind of adult animated series. It's sort of this study about this woman and her mother, like their struggles that they've been going through, but she goes into this fantasy world of this sort of TV show that her mom is like the star of, and she's sort of a part of this, and it just goes into these weird trips and fantasies with lots of songs, singing this strained relationship that they have.
Okay.
So it's a kind of a mother-daughter story, and but it's very, very, very interesting that the way they put it together. And again, just something that I would never have known about it unless it got sent to us. So people, they make these interesting movies. Just it gets kind of drowned underneath all of the big commercial stuff. So and musicals aren't. I mean, I don't know when last was there actually a musical. The West Side Story remake, was that the last one? Oh, and Color Purple. I guess all of these Broadway shows, all the movies that get turned into Broadway shows that then get turned back into movies.
Yeah. Hairspray.
So, but it's
there was a bunch of John Waters movies that got turned into musicals that then got turned back into movies again.
Yeah, and Mel Brooks is the producers. I mean, that stuff's been huge hits, and so then you've got the movie, the Broadway show, and then the musical movie.
So
but
I recently saw someone who went to an off-Broadway production of Saw the musical.
Okay, I heard about it.
People in it, but I think that could be quite interesting.
Yeah. I mean, they did. I mean, I know they've done. I mean, obviously, besides Little Shop of Horrors, they've done stuff like they've had like this. I can't even call it off Broadway. It's just I don't know where they did it, but it's Evil Dead. I think like, did you see that Hell to the Deadites?
Yes.
But fans do crazy things. They don't just make fan films; they make like these fan musicals or stuff. So yeah. But then another instrument linked documentary is Legends of Wood and Silk, Chinese one. I think I mentioned earlier about it's this 82-year-old. I don't know how you pronounce it. Is it Guquin? It's that string, that flat wooden, that string instrument. It's got that very, very distinct Chinese sound.
I don't know.
Do you remember Did you remember Kung Fu Hustle?
Yes.
Oh, what a movie! Yesterday we were talking about it, saying they've been talking about a sequel. Hey kids, it's your kitty cat. They were talking about a sequel for. I mean, I think the movie's probably 20 years old by now. But I don't know if they'll ever get to do a sequel. But that was just so good. I wouldn't mind getting a sequel on that. But anyway, there's a scene in the movie where the guy's playing this thing, but then he's got these. He throws these kind of blades with each string kind of shoots a thing at the guy. Sorry, I digress. But it's that instrument. And it's this 82-year-old master of this instrument, and how it's kind of sort of, I mean, it's such an old instrument. It's not in the popular mainstream, but you still have young players also playing it. But very interesting documentary on him and doing a special show, and just how it's just cool to see how people still keep these keep these classic things alive,
Yeah.
and how easy it is for things to disappear.
Mm.
So it's also very, very worth watching.
Mm.
And then more of a punk movie is Not a Rock Doc.
Oh, right.
It's about a
Yes.
band called the Sharks. It's a British band. They started around the punk era.
Mm.
It seemed like they were kind of going to be a big thing, but then all kinds of problems and issues had them
Yeah.
fall apart. And as it happens, it was kind of around about the time of the Sex Pistols, and then a couple of years back they sort of resurrected again.
Okay.
Decided to reform and do
Mm.
something again, and they actually had Paul Cook, the original drummer from the Sex Pistols.
Mm.
Sex Pistols drummer played with him, and it's this whole docu. Just it it covers this whole trick of them to just get the band back together as such.
Yeah.
So it's very cool.
Okay.
They've got like a very, very particular sense of humor, and they're crude and they're funny and they're silly, and they're just having fun. So so there's a punk flavored movie as well.
Would you say
And
that's
then
the
for
the
people,
punk version of Anvil, the story of Anvil, or they?
I think Leicester's not as disastrous. It was a bit of a
Okay.
disaster, that.
Yeah.
But
Shame.
sadly, very entertaining in the process. But it's definitely in that
Okay.
vein, definitely.
Yeah.
But in a kind of a punk
Okay.
English punk vibe. But and then for people who like the ukulele, I cannot stand the ukulele. I don't know why, but it annoys me when you see someone sitting going blink, blink, blink with a
Uh,
ukulele. I don't know if you play one. If you do,
no.
sorry, but
No, I do not.
there's just something about a ukulele that is, you just want to break it. But
It's not a serious
very interesting
instrument, is it?
document. Yeah, I mean, I guess if it's like a kind of a guy with a Hawaiian shirt sitting there singing authentic Hawaiian song, maybe,
Yeah. Okay.
maybe.
Yeah.
Um, but that's about probably only time. but, but this documentary called Madagascar Music.
Mm.
It's about a South Korean guy. Um, he's got this relationship with Madagascar. He's been going there for years and years and years. Built a bunch of
Okay.
libraries for kids and doing lots of uplifting work amongst the kids in Madagascar. And then one of his projects was getting 50 ukuleles sponsored to spread around the kids,
Wow.
to get them, to teach them to like
Okay.
play,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like sing some traditional Korean songs. And it's a very interesting trip. And I mean, and we just watched some of the footage again. That like Madagascar, it's this crazy. I mean, it's like
Yeah. Mm.
broken off from Africa, so
Mm-hmm.
it just it's just grew its own fauna, flora. It's just the plants and
Yeah.
the animals, everything is just so unique there. It just looks like this whole different kind of a place. And
Yeah.
so it's a very interesting little flick.
Mm.
So it just documents this guy doing this work, and just doing some good work amongst not such privileged kids, and
Yeah.
sort of bring some happiness and some purpose to their lives. So that's very
Mm.
cool. And that's also part of why we do this festivals. Music music is more than just stuff in the background while you're working.
Mm.
It can change people's lives. It can, lots of people say that certain bands that like sort of saved their lives, that it's prevented them from doing something stupid, or
Mm.
it's just music has an emotional effect on you. It's besides being just soundtracks to our lives. If you hear a specific song, you're taken back to when you
Yeah.
were like 10 or 15 years old, and it can also have lots of sad connections, specific
Yeah.
memories attached to it. So yeah, I mean, it's like, that's why we love music, we love movies. So putting this festival together is just perfect for us, because it's the two things that we love most.
Yeah.
Um, but then for the short films, it includes a whole bunch of cool bits and pieces. Like there's a piece on, how do you pronounce it? Sigur Rós, that
Siguros.
Icelandic.
I think that's how you
Yeah,
pronounce it.
yeah. It's a filmmaker got a bunch of their fans and played them the new album with headphones on for the first time, and
Okay.
just film the reaction. So like we were just saying about how music and the effect music has on you. So that's a very, very direct focus on the effect of music on people, and it's people who love the band, so it has an even more profound effect than just someone who hears something that actually moves them.
Yeah.
So that's a very, very cool little piece. And then actually this morning I only had another short docu on an artist, a guy called Brother Deeg.
Okay.
Name's Deeg Leg. Yeah, Deeg Leg. It's a short called A Hard Row to Hoe. He's like a Louisiana blues kind of a guy. And one of his songs, Quentin Tarantino heard one of his songs and he used it in Django Unchained.
Okay.
But then you'd expect, okay, that's like a kind of a leg up to, well, no pun intended, leg up to, to fame. But this doesn't work that way,
No.
Unless you're like a popular pop star, it's difficult to keep your music career going, even if you get this song in a Quentin Tarantino movie. So it's like a compact, short little docu on just this guy's missions, how he, making music, tours on his own, just loads his own stuff into the van, very, very cool music. But sadly, this morning, the director told me that he actually passed away like a month ago.
Oh wow! Okay.
So that's quite a sad thing, because it's it's a guy with a very interesting musical style, with a promising future, which is unfortunately now he's now passed away, and that's how life goes, I guess. And then Guancho El Bangosero Mentiroso. It's a Cuban docu on Cuban percussion. These
nice.
Cuban percussionists, and also how they kind of teach kids how to play these traditional drums. That's a kind of little interesting little instrument piece in the short films. And then we'd also decided, when we checked it out, we still had a little space there, so I thought, let's just throw our Terminatrix, Bela Lugosi's Dead cover version music video in there as well.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Because why not?
Yeah.
Then there's a kind of a little gothy element as well. So it's the only kind of gothy flavored thing in this whole festival.
Oh
so
no!
We cover,
I'm walking up
cover
right
all
now.
the freaking colors. Okay?
I'm walking up right now. More goth.
Yes, how dare you? And also, like I said, there's actually some movies with dance involved.
Okay.
Like this one, so Misunderstood. It's about a black woman who's the only female in this office space. So it's this kind of a narrative story, but it's got this dance and music and stuff.
Okay.
These expressive dance. It's very, very interesting and sort of, I'd say experimental.
Okay.
But people in the street, they just burst out dancing.
Yeah.
Some people hate that kind of thing, but other people love it. So we thought that would definitely be a cool addition to that.
Yeah.
And then also in kind of a sound and motion type flavor is Ryan Kruger, one of his new shorts called Boogie Heads.
Okay.
Lots of I think it's probably Hazer doing the soundtrack again. I think it's Hazer. Did his Fried Barry soundtrack as well.
Okay.
And so lots of nakedness in there as well. So people who was a bit afraid of nudity shouldn't watch this section of the short films. So it's got some intense music, lots of flashing lights and nudity. So if those things don't work for you, just fast forward. But we can handle it, so it's fine.
Yeah.
And another one is Teenage Harmonic.
Okay.
It's just basically sound and motion, slow motion of people at a live punk rock show.
Oh, okay.
So it's
interesting.
Close ups and slow motion, so you don't really see it's just bodies moving with this music and sound. So it's a kind of a kind of an audiovisual trip again. And we also decided to include Marsha Moon's music video for her song Die Heks van Heksenvier Vallei.
Okay.
It's a lovely, lovely song. So we got like an Afrikaans song in there as well for the variety. And another one that's kind of a motion and music one is Rib, which it's a short from Ireland, sort of reclaiming the female body kind of thing. So there's some nudity in there as well again. So if you can't handle nudity, there's some nudity in the short section.
Okay, so fair warning.
But nothing blatant, nothing pornographic. It's just, it's the female form. If you can't handle it, come on, god damn it. and then we've got a very, very nice a Russian short called Cats, Why Do We Need Them? It's a full-on dance piece, very well shot. Interesting. It's like a guy that's this businessman who wants to commit suicide after like this failure, but then as he's like standing on this chair with a noose, this cat arrives and then turns into a woman, and it becomes this dance thing with the guy on the rope. It's very, very well choreographed.
Okay.
It's a very, very nice piece. Very different instead of regular silly dancing. It's artistic and very, very well choreographed and well performed and well shot. So it's a very nice piece. And then we've got a music video from India called Move On, Say the Town Walls. So we've got like a South African music video, 2 South African music videos, an Indian music video, just to mix things up. And then another one, Amu's Treasure. It's also an Indian artist, like a kind of little animated music video to one of the. It's got a nice blend of stuff. But then there were also some movies that weren't, they're like sort of 50 minutes and 40-minute length, so you can't put them in the short as a feature film. So we kind of added them together for these double bills.
Yes.
And two of these are actually from Belgium. So it's this Belgian double bill. One is called As We Walk. It's this jazz group that they just walked along the Belgian coast with a camel and just perform on the beach. And it's all over the place. It's shot in black and white. So it's a very interesting little trip. Yeah, it's just sort of very kind of experimental and not straightforward. And then the other one, Vision Glitch, that's the one that it's paired with. Just want to get a name right. Echo Beatty is the artist. Her and the director Anton Kuhner. They also just went around landscapes, shooting and performing. So it's kind of this coincidental Belgian landscape pairing. These two Belgian musical entities, completely unrelated, but it's all sort of around the Belgian landscape, which is pretty cool. And then the other double bill is Nocturno, about an aging pianist that kind of does another piece. This a new piece gets written for her, and she sort of kind of gets back on her feet to kind of perform this piano piece. And that's paired with an odd in the basement of Apollo Hall. The Nocturno. It's from Luxembourg, and in the basement of Apollo Hall is the Swedish short. Just kind of what is music and where does it come from? And it's got these puppets in it, and this audience is kind of like sort of half comedy, half exploratory. It's odd. So we didn't know where to put it. So we paired it with kind of a more of a serious thing, but then after that you kind of have like a little bit of a laugh. And we were trying to get God Said Give 'Em drum machines on how techno started in is it Detroit? But unfortunately, we haven't been able. it was going to. We were actually trying. We were going to do it last year, but then our festival was going to fall before they wanted to have the premiere in the States, so we couldn't do it last year. So I tried to get it now for this year as well, but now I think they might try to get it into the Encounters Festival.
Okay.
So we won't be doing it, but if it lands up in the Encounters Festival, it's well worth watching. Very, very cool docu on where techno actually came from.
Okay.
So I think that's the bunch, eh? Yeah, that's it.
I mean that's going to keep you busy for a week, I think.
Yeah, easily. But there's, like I said, it's something for any kind of musical taste, except for there was one classical piece that we intended to have, but unfortunately it had to be a cinema screening. So unfortunately we couldn't include that. So there would have been a full-on classical piano documentary as well.
Oh, nice.
But there's a jazz piano piece, and there's a nocturno. There's another. So yes, we've piano stuff. There's dance stuff. There's rock. There's metal.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned, all genres, even a little bit of goth.
Yeah.
And some
Afrikaans amount of goth
musical. Yeah. just a smidge. But yeah, so that's it. It's and it's I don't know if we mentioned it's streaming at Cricket. So you go straight to Cricket. You can get one movie at a time, or just get the whole bunch, which is easy and freaking cheap.
Yeah,
and you can just pick off what you want to watch when you want to watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, obviously, our main website is flamedrop.com/SOS.
Yeah,
obviously the SOS standing for Sound on Screen. flamedrop.com/SOS, and yeah, all the stuff's there. The links to Cricket, got the trailers there, the info on all the movies, and if you want to scroll all the way down, you can see all the stuff that we've done before, all the years before.
Yeah,
cool and interesting movies if you missed out on those ones. Because every year, you just think, are we going to get any interesting music movies this year? And people just keep making people keep making movies. Yeah,
I don't think I'll see Mother of All Shows listed anywhere soon.
I doubt it. Unless I don't know if it, if you're in Canada, it might get some little like a kind of indie, some indie screens for a short period, but that would be it.
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes stuff appear on Amazon Prime, out of the blue. Some local movies as well.
Yeah.
But it's very rare. It's very hard to find these things on the major streaming platforms. So grab them while you can.
Yeah. So have you got any plans to attend any sort of big musical events or festivals apart from the Sound on Screen?
No, not. I can't think beyond getting this thing off the ground now. So it's always it's this long mission trail to you have to kind of the selection of the stuff, and then just all the little practical things, like just the the artwork of every single poster. You must do it in this version, that version, thumbnails for the trailers. You must process the trailers and upload those. And I'm still currently at this moment now, movies are uploading to Cricket, and that's several gigs at a time. And even with the fast fiber line, it takes a while. So it's and sometimes they fail, and you have to re-upload it. So it just takes a lot of time to do a lot of things. I can't think beyond just getting this ready for Friday and let it roll.
Yeah,
then I'll
then you can sort of stick your head above the parapet, as it were.
Yeah. And also maybe feeling a bit less fluey at that time as well. So
that would be nice. Did you manage to see Godzilla -1 while it was on circuit?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh, you should
like to have seen it in IMAX.
Yeah, you should track it down. We didn't manage to see it in IMAX. We did manage to see it on the big screen though.
What should have actually been in one of the 4DX cinema. With the wind and the water and the shakes.
Yeah,
I think that's a perfect movie for that.
No, actually, it's.
Or do you want to sit and concentrate?
No, you need to pay
Okay, you watch
attention.
it. No, you go watch it in. Excuse me. You go watch it in IMAX, and then you go watch it again in the 40x.
There we
If you
go.
if you want to do a
That's
second viewing,
yeah,
do it for a second viewing. Then have the sensory experience.
yeah.
I haven't
I
been in
know.
one of those. I haven't been in one of those cinemas in a while. I don't,
Are
but
they
yeah, it's
still
also
around?
like I said that I think I think they've changed. There's a different one. I think the 40X was the new Metro.
I think
I
so.
think the Skakinical guys, they call it something else. I don't know what
Mm.
they call it, but it's yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember now.
This, oh. But no, it's I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they'll. I guess something like Ghostbusters will probably be handy for that. That's coming in
Hmm.
when? Is it in June or July? Or is it even sooner? It's
I have
around the
no
corner. The new
idea.
Ghostbusters. Yeah, it's one of these days.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting. Yeah, that previous the last one was very good. I enjoyed that,
Okay.
especially because we were old original Ghostbusters fans because we saw it when it got released in cinema. We're old
Yeah.
enough for that.
Oof.
So I mean, everyone like shat themselves for that all female one. It wasn't that bad. It's just people just all this,
Yeah.
uh,
I don't know. People get a bee in their bonnet, and then this has to be the worst
nah,
film of all
it's
time. You can't just have an opinion about it.
it's like the Little Mermaid has to be white. That kind of shit. It's like
It's a
who
fish.
cares, man?
It's a it's
Yeah,
a it's a fish person. I don't think it
fish
matters.
have to be Caucasian. Damn it! I mean,
Caucasian
really.
fish.
So yeah, Ghostbusters can only be male. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, come on. Yeah. You have to try. You have to just sometimes throw something else at the wall and see if it sticks. Although it
Yeah.
wasn't, it was okay movie, but it wasn't fantastic. But now
Yeah.
the previous one, what's it called? Was it called Afterlife? Ghostbusters Afterlife. Yeah, the previous
Something
one
like that.
with Paul Rudd, and no, it
Mm.
was cool. It was very nice the way they because the original guys weren't exactly part of that female one, so
Mm.
it was very cool how they brought the old Ghostbusters back again, Dan Aykroyd and them, um,
Yeah.
including Harold Ramis, the guy who's dead.
Yeah.
What was his name? The guy with the glasses. What was his character's name in Ghostbusters?
Oh, and I have no idea.
Can't remember now. But
I
anyway,
have
he
no idea.
directed Groundhog Day, and stuff like that.
Mm.
He actually became a director after his acting career, and did some
Yeah.
very cool movies. But yeah, they incorporate him into the Ghostbusters Afterlife movie in a very, very nice way.
Okay.
Not too sentimental, not too cheesy, and effectively, yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, now we're talking about Ghostbusters. Yeah, Sound on Screen, Music Film Festival, streaming across South Africa via Quicket. Do it. You
Yeah.
won't see these movies. Probably won't see these movies anywhere else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do it.
Cool. Thanks very much, Paul.
Thank you.
It's a short one, but you have lots to do still.
Yeah, I need to go rest. I need to go rest my bones. But yeah, still lots to do. So
Yeah.
I'll rest a little bit later.
And then you can start.
But thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Then you can start prepping for Horrorfest, the 20th
Yeah, it's first
anniversary.
Celluloid, then RFS.
Oh Lord.
Celluloid, then RFS. So yeah, but yeah, before you know it, it's. I mean, it's almost 6 months till Halloween. So
Yeah.
before you know it,
Time marches
yes,
on.
it does.
Cool.
Thanks, man.
Cool.